when it comes to characters, is there like a, I don't know. I think if I could just name it off real quick, schoolgirl, teacher, doctor, nurse, then maybe
you wouldn't. You don't look like you would play a MILF or none of that yet.
Not yet. No,
definitely not.
And I had that as one of my questions because one of my favorite docs about porn was called Hot Girls Wanted. Mm-hmm. And in one of the scenes, the girl says, well, now that I'm over 25, I'm like ready for MILF porn. Right. And I was wondering, have your categories evolved?
I mean, for me, not yet. But if I'm being honest, I feel like for like Black actresses in particular or like minorities, like it's a little bit different for us in the industry. Like I feel like we typically kind of stay within the, let's say like hot wife type category. We don't crossing over into MILF because we age so well.
Hello.
Because that's what it is. Like we age really well. Not saying other people don't. We just age
saying
really
that they
well.
don't. They don't.
And so because of that, we don't, it takes a lot longer for us to get to that side.
Okay.
So I don't really know a lot of like Black like porn stars who are like classified fully as like a MILF. Right?
Me neither.
But there is a thing in the industry where like once you're over 25, like for a lot of these girls, you're considered a MILF. Once you're over 25, which is crazy because that's obviously very inaccurate.
And that's how teeny they like them, to be honest.
And that's how teeny they like them. Exactly. The standards obviously are not made by women. It'd be a little bit different if it were. So
what's been the Nicole Kitt specialty? Like,
what's what you like for most
me,
known for?
If I think of my favorite porn star, I'm just thinking back in the day, like Lacey Duvall. She always did these crazy blowjobs where she was like use her teeth or hands or take the spit and look and rip it. And like, I remember that was her thing. I knew.
And Havana Ginger was known for her areolas at one point. Mm-hmm. Again, I know Lisa Ann for the gangbangs and the MILF porn. Mm-hmm. Like, what would you say your specialty is or that you feel like you do often?
So I feel like more of like, what makes Nicole Kitt, at least, I feel like I have a hard body.
Okay.
So like I have a very I'm athletic.
Like track and field.
Built, exactly, track and field. That's so like they I'm very fit and so they love that. So I find myself like I'll do things in the gym, I'll do things like where I'm like outside working out. Like that's that. But I also feel like it's my energy. Because like when I'm on set, like for me it's very transformative. Like I'll walk in and stuff like that and I'll just be like in a hoodie and sweats, like all chill. Like, okay, I'm here, don't talk too much to me. Let me just kind of like get in the mode. But then as soon as the camera's going, it's like a light switch. And then it's just like this straight up, slut me out type energy.
So crazy because I'm not saying she has slept me out type energy. I don't know if you know a girl named Kayla Nicole. She lives in LA. She's a fitness influencer, host, and all these things in between. Literally, when I saw you just now, I said, damn, she reminds me of Kayla. Same vibe, same bubbly and girly and fun and sexy. But also, I think that most times when we meet super sexy and model-esque Black women, we're not ready for them to have that. Like, I think Naomi Campbell. Like, you're going to be a bitch. Not that I want it, though, right?
Yeah,
like, It's just that, like, oh, yeah, I am better than your energy. So when it's like that fun, bubbly shit, it's like, oh, shit.
It's chill, right?
Yeah.
It's chill. I mean, honestly, like, that's the beauty of the women I've met, the Black women in the industry. I feel like everyone typically we're all like that. Because we got
like cool as hell.
Yeah, we're all cool. Yeah. We're all so cool. Because, like, we have so much going on anyway. Just trying to, like, make a name for ourselves, trying to establish ourselves, trying to navigate all the situations within the industry.
You could say the bullshit.
Yeah, the bullshit.
I want to talk to you about that because when Mandii and I were at the AVN Awards, there was a lot of conversation around how
why we're here first off by other Black creators.
Yeah, all the Black creators, they were just basically telling us that it was very difficult to get nominated for anything, or they weren't feeling as much welcoming, or they felt like they were left out. With you, I feel like, I don't know if the term is contract star, because when I've heard that means they're associated with just the big, big houses. But have you felt that, like, I don't know, you are the odd one out? Or maybe it's been tough for you with other Black women. Maybe you try to put them on. Is it like us when we're trying to hire other Black girls for different gigs? Like, what's your experience been like being Black in porn?
Oh, my God. So, I mean, if I'm being real.
It's a Black show.
Yeah. Okay, so barbershop talk, being real. So, my experience being Black in porn, I definitely see it. It is harder. It's like one of those things, like when they tell you when you're younger or your parents, you have to work twice as hard for half as much. That is a real thing.
Oh,
like that. Yeah. That's still a thing.
Even as popular as you are, was that in the beginning or is that even now?
That was in the beginning because I when I first moved out to LA, I actually stayed in a model house because I wasn't sure entirely if I wanted to move fully to LA or if I want to go back home to Oklahoma, where I'm originally from.
Are the model houses like, so I've heard model houses be where, of course, all these girls come that live or that come in from other places. And really the person who owns the house has y'all like out at clubs every night. Is that the same on the West Coast as it is? That's what I heard New York is. What was your model?
I think it's
like?
just
so mine was like more chill. It was just a bunch of girls. It was like a sorority.
It's like an agency that owns a house, correct?
Well, it's like actually this particular woman was a supermodel in the 90s.
A woman owned it.
Yeah, and she also was a penthouse model. So that was her house. Really, really nice house.
Okay. And why did she bring women into the house?
Because she was with Penthouse, which is like parallel to like the porn industry.
Yeah,
they do like more like the editorial, the editorial stuff. She just like opened up her house and like rented it out to girls who are moving to California or working in the adult industry.
Which I love because a lot of the times when men run those houses, it's a lot more predatory.
It's a lot,
and like I said, the ones that I'm familiar with for any of the girls that live there, they were like forced certain nights to go into the clubs. They were like, and it seemed more like a pimp thing, and that's why I wanted to know if it was a different experience. But I think, of course, being ran by a woman, it makes sense. She probably actually wanted to create just
she wanted a better family,
a better environment for women.
And
that's really dope.
Yeah, she had no kids. She had a bunch of cats, and she just treated us like family, So it was really cool. But when I moved into that model house, and for the first, I'd say 7 months of my career, I just noticed that there were a lot of women who were not Black that would come in. And they would just immediately off the bat just start shooting for some of the biggest, largest companies in the entire industry. Like their career immediately would just take off. And it wasn't like we were doing, much different. We were both posting on social media. We were both doing this. But it was just held in a different regard, So I do believe that there's a handicap to being a Black woman in the adult industry. And for myself, the only reason, honestly, why I even got that push was because I went overseas.
Oh.
Because I realized I'm here in America. I kind of know how they feel here and how the production companies can be, not all, but how they can be. I know in Europe, there's not many Black women in porn there.
Can you tell me more about that?
So you were a commodity out there.
I've ever heard about the Black porn production experience in Europe.
Yeah. So it's, it depends on who you shoot for. It depends on what you're into. Because if you're into really hardcore stuff.
That's what I think when I think of Europe.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the majority of it, right? But there are some companies that are more like Less Cinema, for example, where it's more like erotica, come to life. So it's more sensual, it's more cinematic. And that's who I was shooting for. But there just aren't a lot of Black women. There's two I can think of.
Oh, wow.
Ziswati and Josie. So I was I'm going to go out there because they don't have a lot of Black women. And I know when I'm out there, I'll be in high demand because I don't have to really compete.
How long were you out there for?
So I was going back and forth for a whole year. So I was probably in Europe at least once every month. Well, last year.
But where in Europe?
Spain, Berlin, Amsterdam.
Did you work with Eric Celeste?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So So I was all over the place. And that's what got me started because it wasn't happening here.
Can I ask you, knowing that it's more difficult to place in porn as a Black woman, do you feel as though you had to lift some of your boundaries on things that you wouldn't do so that you could get work? And I would like to know what things you wouldn't do.
So, yes. So there was definitely multiple points where I felt like I needed to conform or, you've seen porn covers and porn titles. You know what it can be, what it can look like. That usually they'll put
the dog fart stuff.
Going.
Yeah,
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it, but they'll say it.
We know.
I don't do porn, I can say it.
Yeah, thank you. Because I don't want to say it, but like that. What they can put out there to going black attack, or something like that. It's a lot of race play.
Yeah.
And so I definitely had a lot of offers for that. And it was tempting, I won't gonna lie, but I personally decided.
You've never done that?
No. I did Zebra Girls for...
What's that?
Zebra Girls is with dog fart. So Zebra Girls where it's white girls and Black girls. I did that.
Funny title, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a
Zebra
funny
Girls,
title.
I'm not gonna lie. I had no clue.
Is that me?
I had no clue where it was going, and then
It's a white girl, Black girl, mix. I did that, and I think I did maybe one other title that was a little bit on the racier side.
Zebra Girls was racy for
the company just does really racist.
No, I'm familiar with dog fart. So that's one of your absolutely nots. You're not gonna allow a white man to call you out of your name or anything like that. Okay.
I don't like it being titled with anything like that. Race play is fun when it's me initiating it. But if it's the opposite way,
because of the
stigma,
question.
I'm no, I'm just not into it. So honestly, it was tempting. But I set boundaries for myself when I first started, which honestly I feel like made things harder. Because if I would have just taken those gigs, if I would have just been like, yeah, give it to me, doesn't matter, I don't care. Like a lot of people do, which essentially, in my opinion, is selling your soul in a way. You know, if I would have done that, then yeah, I probably would have moved a little bit faster.
But do you think
I didn't want to.
Some of these girls are taking it because that's all they can get? Like,
yeah.
I was going to say, everyone has a price. Like, the money just probably, like, the fact that you even said it was tempting. I wonder if the price got a little higher, if it would have, you know, tempted you even more to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I think that's all it is. Everyone has a price.